Gergel's transcript. As much as I admire him and his capabilities as a federal judge and the great work that he does, I don't defer to the federal court system in making my decisions. I practiced law for 24 years and have been a judge for 23 years. During my time as a prosecutor, I've prosecuted police chiefs, probation officers, professors, and as a judge, I've sentenced church secretaries, preachers, professors, law enforcement folks. But until I came down to this 14th Circuit in March, I never sentenced a lawyer. And that lawyer was sentenced to consecutive life sentences. Now I have a lawyer, co-defendant, colleague of his, facing 195 years in prison. In addition to dealing with and sentencing all those folks, I've certainly dealt with my share of grand larceny cases, people who might steal an automobile, facing 10 years in prison, a shoplifter who, after the third offense, they're facing 10 years in prison. And I've had my share of sentencing people like the assailants who were convicted of the crimes that was mentioned, and dished out a lot of time to many of them. So this is my second time in these 47 years having to deal with an issue of sentencing a lawyer. And I cannot imagine a more devastating, anything more precedent. This is unprecedented. This is unimaginable. This is, I think, the greatest crime for a lawyer in the history of the state of South Carolina. Certainly in the number of years being faced and the impact of the crimes on the citizens of the state. I cannot imagine anyone going to a lawyer in South Carolina at this moment in time and having complete trust in what that lawyer says to them. And of course, part of my years of practice, I've had clients come to me with, and they come and said that they didn't know how much money they got on their case, that they went to the lawyer's office and the check was turned over and they just was asked to sign the check. So they came to me to find out how much money they got in their case. But this is totally unprecedented. I cannot, there's no way there was a case in this state where the amount of thievery exceeded what's occurred in this case. Now, the presentations on behalf of Mr. Fleming were certainly inspiring. Reminded me of the revival that we had at our church last week. reminded me of funeral services that I've had to attend, particularly within the last year. And I've heard a lot of testimonies, so much so that they can go on and on in churches, you know, at a funeral. And so we ask people to limit their comments to 2 minutes because everyone has so many good things to say. And most folks reminded me of what was said in federal court, sort of a disregard to the dual sovereignty of the state court. You know, I didn't read Judge Gergel's transcript. He's in a different system, a different sovereignty. I've never deferred to a federal court to guide my sentence as a state court judge. Now, for all of the great things that was said about Mr. Fleming, and I made the funeral reference because it's as if he's no longer with us, as if, you know, we're at a funeral, and that he will not have an opportunity to redeem himself. He will not have an opportunity to do good deeds. And someone mentioned that the things that he was able to share his tale with others. Well, he'll have an opportunity to share his tale and his story and the consequences of his choices with people that he will meet that will be in dire need of his counsel and advice. Now, since coming here for Murdaugh and doing that trial in March, and I was back here 2 weeks ago for a trial, another trial in Colleton County. A mother who had been Teacher of the Year in the school system there left her 13-year-old totally handicapped and disabled child in a car beginning at 11 a.m. when it was 91 degrees outside, and left that child in the car until about 5 or 6 p.m. And she's constantly in and around the car with her boyfriend. And a climatologist testified that the temperature in that car got up to 139 degrees. And you're talking about remorse, and the testimonies and presentations over this mother and her mistake. She was on methamphetamine with her boyfriend. As remorseful. I cannot imagine anyone giving me a presentation of a mother who loved her child and who went wayward and more concerned about using drugs and pleasing her boyfriend than caring for her child. And she got 37 years in prison, convicted of murder. That was 2 weeks ago, here in the same 14th Circuit. And the folks who came to talk with him and said, you know, she loved her child. Nothing she wouldn't do for her child. She had her child in the Special Olympics. But she abandoned the child. And so when I'm listening to Mr. Bamberg talk about Mr. Pinckney, Hakeem Pinckney, I'm thinking of that same type of vulnerability that child had. He was a child at the time, wasn't he?
He was a late teen, I believe, Your Honor.
Yeah. And so he placed his trust in a respected member of the bar, a very respected member of this community. And I could tell that by all of the folks here. You know, I sometimes say that there isn't very much between any of us. We all have good and we all have bad, and certainly everyone was here to tell me about all the good in Mr. Fleming, but we're dealing with the consequences of the bad, and that is as bad as it gets in this case for a lawyer who has a prior record. He has no prior convictions, but when you carry on a scheme.
Coming up, the judge hands down his sentencing right on the other side of this short break. Stay tuned.
I've worked hard all my life. I've gone from being a local reporter to becoming a law student to then even going on to teach other lawyers, all before I came to Court TV. As a journalist, lawyer, and teacher, I learned the secret to success is speaking in your authentic voice. And I bring that lesson to my show, Opening Statements, every morning on Court TV.
Opening Statements with Julie Grant. Weekday mornings at 8, 7 Central, only on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Judge Ashley Wilcott. Thank you for joining us. We are bringing you the sentencing hearing in South Carolina against Cory Fleming. Now, he is a good friend of Alec Murdaugh's, and the financial schemes that were alleged, he pled to 23 counts of financial crimes in the state of South Carolina. Today was his sentencing hearing. We've heard lots of mitigation statements from his friends and family, and now the Judge Newman, about to deliver his sentence.
Record that did not result in charges or convictions, but a record of his life. And as bad as it was with Mr. Pinckney, then we moved to the Satterfields. Again, vulnerable people. So I imagine, and I know that many of the friends and family and colleagues were totally shocked, not at what the good Cory Fleming has done over a period of time, but this Cory Fleming in these cases. And quite frankly, when the people come to me and wanting to lay the burden on me, said, Judge, please be lenient. That's not my responsibility. You know, I believe in justice and mercy, but leniency is not part of Micah, the scripture. Facing 195 years in prison. Anything else before I impose my sentence?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Fleming, if you'd come around for sentencing. My heart bleeds for you because I have no doubt of the quality of human being that you are, as reflected by all of the positive comments. But you must suffer the consequences of your actions in these cases that you're standing before me for. And tempering justice with mercy. It's my responsibility to impose a sentence. And there are so many. If I were to spend time here now imposing a sentence on each of these indictments individually, we'd be here for a few hours probably. So suffice it to say, with regard to the Satterfields, and need my clerk here to take notes for me. On count 10, where the exposure is 0 to 5, the sentence is 5 years. I wrote insurance. Is that insurance fraud?
Yes, sir.
That is count number or indictment number.
Next one is count 11, Your Honor.
Count 11.
Yes, sir.
And the exposure is 0 to 10. The sentence is 10 years. On the breach of trust with the 10-year possibility or exposure, the sentence is 10 years. On the money laundering, where the exposure is 0 to 20 years, the sentence is 10 years. On the 5-year breach of trust, the sentence is 5 years. On the 5-year money laundering, I believe it is, it's 5 years. And on the computer crime, the sentence is 5 years. And each of those will run concurrent with each other. As to the breach of trust involving the Pinckneys, counts 5 and 9, is it?
Yes, sir.
Where the exposure is 5 years, the sentence is 5 years. The 30-day breach of trust, count 6, the sentence is time served. On the conspiracy charge, sentence is 5 years. On the breach of trust, where the exposure is 10 years, the sentence is 10 years. And that sentence will run consecutive to the sentence that you're currently serving. All the sentences otherwise will run concurrent with each other. I'm going to defer any restitution hearings. I believe it's just too convoluted for me to get a true handle on what the state is seeking and what should be ordered, and I tend to think that it's, well, I don't want to prejudge whether it's necessary or not, but I'm going to defer any ruling regarding any restitution. I'm not sure whether the state is actually seeking it, whether there's an actual loss. If there is, whether the parties can agree. We can have a separate hearing solely dealing with restitution, if necessary. As the Senator of the Court, I give you best wishes, Mr. Fleming.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
That was the sentence of the court. Break all that down. What does it mean? It means he just received a 20-year sentence, 20-year for the 23 guilties to criminal offenses for financial crime.